Hello and welcome to Quays TV News. I'm Tom Rowland. Now, the issue of racism has once again found its way to the headlines. Chelsea FC are investigating an alleged monkey gesture made by a Chelsea fan towards the Manchester United player Danny Welbeck. The incident took place this week at Stamford Bridge. Now, Manchester Stop's smoking service has launched a Ramadan health campaign for 2012, raising awareness of the risks associated with tobacco use. Shisha bosses on Manchester's Curry Mile are striking following the recent campaign against the flavoured tobacco. Now, the owners of a number of the cafes will meet on Friday to discuss a joint plan to shut the shops for 4 consecutive days. The move comes after a recent investigation found that all of the 15 shisha cafes were openly flouting the national smoking ban introduced in 2007. 8 of the businesses have been fined nearly £21,000 by Manchester City Council in the last 12 months. Now, Manchester's Olympic and Paralympic athletes returned to the spotlight after their inspiring performance in this year's home games. Manchester City Council organised a parade for the athletes, torchbearers and volunteers who took part.
Albert Square, 26th of October, and the Olympic and Paralympic heroes are back. Only 1.5 months after the Paralympic closing ceremony, all the heroes from Manchester arrived back in the spotlight for the parade in Albert Square to celebrate their achievements, as well as the staff and volunteers that helped make the game such a massive success and the torch runners before the Olympics started. Manchester contestants won 9 Olympic medals and 16 Paralympic medals, making Manchester 8th in the overall medals table. Hosted by BBC commentator Paul Dickens, hundreds of people turned up to see the Olympic and Paralympic stars, such as Jonathan Fox, Matt Walker, Sarah Storey, the most B-medalled Paralympian in history, Sir Christopher Hoy, the most successful Olympic cyclist of all time, and loads more. To round up the event, an astonishing fireworks display was presented behind Manchester Cathedral.
Yeah, it was brilliant. We really appreciate everybody coming, and especially so long after the Olympics as well. But yeah, it's brilliant.
It's a great experience to come out, meet everyone who's supported the Olympics, and also bring that Olympic fever back, because it's been a while since the games now. So it was brilliant for us to come out, and everyone's cheering and wanting our autographs again. It's not happened for a few weeks, so we're loving it.
An astonishing and inspiring evening, to say the least, for Manchester. This is Jake Whittle reporting for Quays News.
Now, every week we try and talk to an important face in our community about the work they are doing, and this week we are joined by Sophie Mei Lan, founder of Verita Magazine. Hi Sophie, thanks for coming in. So could you tell us a bit more about Verita Magazine and what its founding principles are?
Well, I started veritamag.com when I was at university originally, and I was studying philosophy and social sciences, and I think they wanted a pretty mundane newsletter, but instead I wanted to uncover human rights abuses. So I followed some human trafficking stories and decided to create a blog on news, views and human rights issues.
Okay. So what inspired you to actually found Verita Magazine?
I think it was just a kind of need that there was to promote human rights issues, but I like to always coin the phrase substance with style. So it's not just your typical human rights blog or magazine, it's actually got a bit of depth into it, and it could be a fashion blog. It's as glossy as a fashion blog, but it deals with some serious issues.
So were there any sort of specific human rights issues that sort of sparked the idea for Verita Magazine?
I think initially it was doing a lot on human trafficking. We followed a human trafficking gang which came over from Romania and targeted people in Manchester, and we did a big expose on the Crown Court case and also spoke to some of the victims. And then from that we've done a lot of women's rights issues, but now we're kind of expanding more into the LGBT community and also looking at other areas of concern. Obviously with all the government cuts and whatnot, there's a lot more kind of difficult problems with youths.
Okay, and could you tell us about what sort of things you have planned for Verita Magazine in the future?
Well, in the future, last year we won the Amnesty International Human Rights Media Award, and that was a student award, but we were with the national journalists. And so what I'm really hoping for the magazine is that we managed to win that award again, but as a kind of fully fledged professional magazine. And we're hoping, we've got 45 contributors now, but I want to expand that and go international really, and just to get it out there and to uncover as many abuses.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A guitar signed by some of the most iconic figures in Manchester's famous music scene is being auctioned off to raise money for charity. The Manchester guitar was the creation of music fanatic and record store owner Adam Masters and features the autographs of the Stone Roses, the Gallagher Brothers, Johnny Marr, Elbow and other recognisable bands, artists and DJs from around the city. The eBay auction begins today in an effort to raise money for Children's Hospice Arts. An intimate gig took place this week to launch new singer-songwriter Rachel Waters. Due to rain, the gig, which was supposed to be around a bonfire at night, was moved indoors, where the artist played love songs. Rachel is having another official launch called The Elements, which also includes dance and other arts. The best minds in sports, science and technology have been gathering in Salford. Olympic champion Etienne Stott was among those speaking at the TEDx convention. It was the largest ever held in the UK, and the Lowry Theatre in Salford Quays was a sellout. Other speakers included Sally Shetty, the Secretary General of Amnesty International, and Ken Shamrock, who is regarded as the world's most dangerous man. Now, the countdown to Christmas has begun, and tonight sees the Trafford Centre switching on their Christmas lights. McFly will be doing the honours, and Quays TV will be there, and we'll have the full report next week. Now, you can also join us on Quays News, at Quays News, and the actual site is at quaysnews.net. So join us then, and in the meantime, thank you very much, and see you next week.